Alright, you guys, so we're going to go over the trade setups that I'm looking at for this week. I'm in one currently. Everything else from last week and the previous week has either been stopped out in profit or the trade hit take profit, and I've closed out of the trade completely. Right now, I'm currently in one trade that is Euro USD. I'm kind of going to go over, explain how I've gotten to where I'm at with this trade, how I found my entry point, and then we'll mark up the other charts and see if we can find a potential position. So for Euro USD, I was looking at the moving averages, and we had this cross back here. And what this cross told me was that price is potentially starting to shift. And once price potentially starts to shift for me, that's when I'm looking at either taking long setups or sell setups, depending on what price was doing before. So you can see in this zone back here that price was moving down, and we were looking for sell setups. But once we had this cross over here, I knew it was time to start looking for longs. So once I came to that conclusion that I wanted to take long positions, I drew a Fibonacci. So I'm gonna leave this, but I'm gonna delete everything else to kind of show what my thought process was through here. So I'll draw my Fibonacci, and when I'm looking for longs, I draw from the swing low to the swing high. So we got a swing low there, swing high here. And what I was looking for was a strong area to enter in. So we've got three entry points. We got a J1, which is the 61.8% fib retracement, a J2, which is a 50%, and a J3, which is a 38.2. And we ended up coming back down to this 50%, but I missed a trade setup. I had an alert on the 38.2 because what I was looking for was something to come down into here. So I thought maybe potentially because price was not going to come, price might have come back down to this zone right here. I thought we might not have gotten that 50% retracement. So I was looking for an entry at the 61.8, or I'm sorry, the 38.2. So I had my entry set for the 38.2, stops below the 50, and it actually worked out pretty good. We ended up taking a trade right at the 38.2, so price came through, and when I seen this big long candle and then this wick, I just waited for the entry to come in on the 38.2 or a J3 entry. So with a J3 entry, my stop loss is always below the J2 entry, which would be the 50% Fibonacci retracement, and then our take profit is just at the top of the Fibonacci. So the way I'm going to manage this trade, once we come up to 1R, this actually isn't 1R, so let's draw 1R. So our stop loss is 61 pips. If our entry is 1.0769, we can open up this calculator. We can go 769 plus 61. That's going to give me 830. So I can draw this line here, click settings, and go 830, hit OK. And then we will add an alert on this, crossing, alert name 1R. So now we got an alert on here. So once price comes up to 1R, I will then take 25% off the top of the trade, move my stop losses to break even. And then once we get to 2R, so we just know that this is going to be 91, because if it's 830 plus 61 would be 91. We'll put an alert on this. This is going to be 2R. Hit create. So then once we get to 2R, I will then take another 25% off the trade and move my stop loss to 1R. And from there, we'll just let the rest of the trade ride out. And when we hit full TP, what's going to happen is I'm going to take an additional 25% off the top. So we are now 75% removed from the position, and I will let the remainder of the trade just ride out as long as Euro USD wants to go up. So that's where we're sitting at right now. We're currently waiting for 1R to be achieved so I can move my stop loss to break even and take 25% off the top of this trade for risk-free trading. So that's what I was looking at on Euro USD. I guess let's move into the NASDAQ and we'll just move down from there. So for the NAS, we did get a cross back here, which tells us that price wants to move up. We have a zone here, and it kind of looks like to me price just wants to keep retesting this zone. We got a long wick telling us, hey, maybe price wants to reject here and start moving back down. These moving averages are starting to get close together now. They're starting to form into a, I guess you would just say a V. We're starting to get that V here for a potential cross, which would tell us that price wants to come back down. And I don't know. I don't really feel comfortable with NASDAQ 100. I need to see a clear break. So if I'm looking at this, where's this at? If I'm looking at this, I need to see something clearly telling me that price wants to continue up. So we'll need a break up here, and then once I get that break, I'll draw my fibs and look for an entry. But until then, we're kind of sitting on NAS and just waiting. So let's move on. Let's move to S&P 500. We got a cross back here telling us that price wants to potentially start buying here. But same situation, we are getting that little V. So maybe we won't get into a long position. Maybe we'll continue to sell off. If you wanted to, right now, get into somewhat of a trade for a short position, which is preferably what I would like to see is a short position, you could take this swing high, this swing low, and say, hey, we're at a 61.8 right now, which is a J1 trade, and with a J1, this is my ideal entry. You could have something like this, so we could take a short position here. With a J1, stops go above structure, so I would call this wick back here my structure, so I would have my stop back there, and take profit at the bottom of the fib or the swing low. So we got a 4-to-1 risk reward ratio, 203 pip stop loss for an 870 pip take profit. So this is a potential trade you could take on S&P 500 right now. Personally, I need a little bit more confirmation that we're going to move to the downside. So I'll be waiting on this trade, and if I don't wait on the trade, I'm going to call it in the Discord, so everybody will be made aware. I guess another thing we can do, we can go to forexfactory.com, and we can take a look at the calendar and see what we got coming up for tomorrow. So tomorrow is the 28th. So for USD, we have the conference board, consumer confidence. That's what CB stands for, is the conference board. So essentially what it's going to do is kind of give us an insight into consumer spending and where the consumer is at with the overall economy. So we could see somewhat of a push. If you look at this, it'll say actual greater than forecast is good for currency. So if that is the truth, then anything over 101, you're going to see the DXY, the US dollar, probably get a push to the upside. And for the indices, it can go one of two ways right now, because with everything that's going on in the economy, with the consistent interest rate hikes we've been seeing, with the FOMC meeting that we just had with Jerome Powell a little while ago, it was actually last week. He said that there's really no signs of slowing down or pausing anytime soon. Their ultimate goal is to get inflation back down to that 2%, or the trajectory heading towards 2%, with confidence backing it. So this CB consumer confidence, if it comes out high, we might see the S&P sell off, just because it's worrying investors that consumers aren't slowing down their spending, which if they're not slowing down their spending, there's no reason to lower prices, which means inflation's going to continue to rise. So it's something we kind of going to have to watch out for tomorrow. This comes out at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So we're just waiting right now. It's a waiting game. I'll probably wait to get into anything for S&P until that time. So yeah, so let's move on. So right now we're waiting for some news to come out for S&P 500. We already went over Euro USD. We're just waiting for 1R to be achieved, and then we can make some adjustments. Now we've got gold. So with gold, we've got clear price movement to the upside with these moving averages. So let's draw a fib. We're gonna go from the swing low. You got two options here. So you can draw a swing low all the way down here to this swing high, or you can go swing low from this zone to this swing high, and kind of look at what matches up. What's the match here? We've got a J1 on this smaller move. This is a 61.8, or we have a 38.2 or a J3 on this. So for me personally, since both of these are matching up almost spot on, this is my zone here. I'm looking for longs in this position down here. So we can delete this one for now. So we've got a 61.8 retracement. We're going to put a ray at the top of this box, add an alert on it, XAU crossing, create. So, oh no, whatever, I'll watch it. Let's delete. I have so many alerts. Let's delete 2R, because I need my entry. So we'll go back to gold. I'm going to add an alert on this, create. So if price comes down and touches this, I will be looking for longs. This is a J1, so this is our best setup. So we're going to drop a long position right here. Stop loss is going to be below previous structure, which could be down here. Take profit is going to be up here at the top of the fib. You could also go based off of the bottom of these two candles over here. You could go off the bottom of this candle over here. Gold likes to move, though. Gold likes to move. So I might drop my stop loss at the bottom of this wick, just below that. So we've got almost a 2.5 R&R. We're going to give ourselves a little bit of room to move around because gold does move so much. You hit a lot of these big candles, as you can see. Here we have a massive candle. This is a big downside candle. This is a big downside candle. We got 3 candles in a row that are pretty big over here. So volume does like to push gold a decent amount. So I'm going to leave that stop loss a little open. And we're just going to wait. We're going to wait for this zone to be hit. It'll also be a double bottom. So just another good confirmation for myself. And the other thing that I'm looking at too is that the RSI line, which is this blue line, not the red line's a moving average, and the blue line is the RSI line, is down below the 50, which tells me that price is starting to get a little oversold. Just gives me another confirmation that I do want to start looking for longs here. So 61.8, which is our J1, we might miss it. You know, it might just reject off this 50, which it is what it is. You know, you can't catch them all. But I am going to wait for this 61.8 to be hit and enter a J1 trade. So that's what I'm going to be looking at for gold. If we move on to USD JPY, unfortunately, I did just get stopped out of a trade here, which was pretty sad. But we were able to secure about 190 pips on it. So I'm happy with that. But we can start looking for new positions here. So we've got clear downside movement from these moving averages. 2 options here for the swing high to swing low. We're looking for sells, so we draw from swing high to swing low. I would either go there, or you can come here and draw it here. So you can take an early entry right now. You can do this 61.8. You can drop a short position here. Stops above this structure up here. Target down there. Not the best trade. It's 1.28 R&R. I don't really like it. So for me personally, what I'm going to be looking for is a 38.2 up here, which is a J3 trade. Something like this would be very ideal for me. This is almost a 3-to-1, 109 pip stop loss for a 313 pip take profit. So I guess we'll just wait. But like I said, you could take a position now, which really isn't a terrible position. If we go off of this might actually be a fantastic position. Let's drop it down to the 1 hour, see if we can find some more structure. Oh, this is actually a fantastic position. I think I'm going to take this trade right now. So we got a short. Clearly structure has been created all along this zone. Like this 61.8 is the structure. So we'll just have a tight stop, 25 pips, 185 pip take profit. I'm about to take this position. So MetaTrader 4, this is 25 pip stop, so USD JPY chart. So you can see, I don't know, let's see. Can you see, maybe, this is a Hugo's Way live account. This is the broker I'm using, is Hugo's Way right now. So I'm going to go on to USD JPY. We're going to trade this. I'm going to put my stop loss at 131.81. Then take profit's going to be 129.712. So you can see right here, dropping a 0.1, which is just like a mini lot. 0.1's $1 per pip, so I'm going to risk $25 to make 185 here on this trade and sell by market. So cool, we are in a USD JPY trade, and we're going to let this ride. I'll keep everybody updated. I actually need to call this in the Discord. So we will do this, copy link to chart image. I'll pull this over here so you guys can see my process. We're going to copy this, go into VIP Forex, paste it. So we are going to say selling USD JPY entry. I'll look on my phone so I can see. 131.571. Stop loss is 131.810. Take profit is 129.712. Okay, and then we got moving. Ooh. And then we will go like this. Copy link to chart image. Go back to Discord. Paste that. Hit enter. Cool. So we just called out a USD JPY sell in the Discord. That's kind of how this process works for me. Pretty tight stop loss, only 25 pips, and so this is a 7-1. It's not a bad trade. And then we can move on to GBP CAD. And I actually already have this marked up, so I'll just kind of go over my thought process here. Same situation, moving averages clearly moving to the upside. So we drew our, so that means we want to get into a buy position. We drew our Fibonacci from the swing low to the swing high. We're looking for strong support now. So for me, that was a 38.2, which is a J3 trade. We've got a rejection here, a rejection here. Price came down, rejected it again. We have 2 rejections at the 50, but we have 3 at the 38.2. So That's why I'm looking at the 38.2. The other thing with the 38.2 is that this 50 moving average is kind of sitting on it right now. So I am just waiting for price to come down on GBP CAD to get into a long position at the 38.2. So this is a J3 trade. 38.2 is a J3. So with a J3, stops are always below J2. And take profit is going to be at the top of the moving averages, or I'm sorry, the Fibonacci. So we have a 53 pip stop loss for 116 pip take profit, and so not a bad trade, 2 to 1. So yeah, so that's kind of my thought process, what I'm looking at for the week. We went over how we're waiting for NAS, we're waiting on S&P right now. There is a potential trade setup if you wanted to take one here, but for me, I need to see this CB consumer confidence come out before I get into any positions. We are in a position right now on Euro USD, currently floating about 30 pips, 20, it's actually 23, 27 pips right now on Euro USD, so we just got to wait for 1R to be hit. Gold, we need price to come down a little bit more to this J1 entry at the 61.8. And we're going to let this one breathe a little bit, give it a little bit more room, because gold does like to have these big candles that'll push either one way or the other. So we're going to wait on this one. Price needs to come back down a little bit. If it does go off this 50 and move to the upside and we miss the trade, it is what it is. We've got a couple more positions we're looking to get into. USD JPY. This trade is almost perfect for us. We drew from the swing high to the swing low, and we're going to enter off of this 61.8 here. We got good rejection, and so now we're just going to let this one ride out. And then GBP CAD, same thing. We are just waiting for price to come back down into this zone, and we'll get into an entry. But other than that, I hope this kind of clears up some questions you might have on what I'm looking at when I'm looking to take a trade. You can apply this strategy to any pair. These are just the pairs that I watch personally. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, let us know. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a comment, like this video, hit the bell so you get notified every time we drop a video. And if you did want to get into our Discord, right now we are doing the next 30 days for free. So all VIP sections of the Discord will be free until May 1st. So if that's something you wanted to get into, the link will be down below in the description. So thanks for watching.